Oh, we love that face. And if your face has been a little too close to the coal face, it's Friday, and hopefully you need that to be said out loud because the week has been a short one, yes, but I know it's been a tough one. For us, we have really had to grapple with a lot, and it's not been short of controversy. We love that. And our news editor, Roy Simpson, is back with us to bring us up to speed on what's been happening in the headlines here in South Africa and abroad. There have been some movie-style plots playing out, and we are here for that. And of course, we want you to please weigh in. Drop us a voice note, 063-408-8863. What are you thinking about this morning? How are you going to react to what we are talking about? So let's give them some gristle to chew on, gang. Morning, Roy. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
I mean, it has been a busy week, despite it being a small one. I mean, there was the EFF shutdown, which wasn't as dramatic as a lot of people expected. I think the rain played a big part. And then there's also the electricity minister saying that corruption isn't the main problem at Eskom. But the dominant story that we would love to unpack with you is former President Jacob Zuma, who is taking journalist Karen Moon to court. Now, can we unpack this? Because her lawyers are saying that the case has no merit. In fact, it is a mirage. But what is the most significant thing about all the journalists that have had things to say? Why is she being targeted?
She's being targeted because she specifically got information from the NPA about his trial, and it was a letter from his doctor which was handed into court, and it really was quite innocuous. You would expect what they're arguing anyway, what Jacob Zuma's lawyers are arguing, is that she has accessed his private medical records and published them. And in fact, the fact that she was given that document from within the NPA constitutes a crime. So she's party to a crime. And the other person in this trial is Billy Downer, the advocate for the NPA, who's somehow responsible for handing this over, even though someone else in the NPA did this. So the counter-argument is that this was part of the court record, which is about as public as it's possible to get. And that's why the Badlander father and son team are saying there's nothing, there is no case. And so they're trying to have the prosecution of Karen Moon and Billy Downer overthrown completely by the courts. And they're just saying there's absolutely nothing material there. Why it matters, I think, is because you're attacking a journalist for doing her job. Obviously, as journalists, it's in my vested interest to say this.
That's a major red flag,
freedom of speech.
Well, it's ours, our collective freedom of speech. The information that the journalists produce is really important. The whole state capture thing, we wouldn't know about it, really. We wouldn't be unpacking it if we hadn't got to ridiculousness. And ridiculousness was the landing of the Gupta wedding jet at the Waterkloof Air Force Base. And it was EWN who exposed that. And then there's this whole run of investigative journalism houses unpacking things. Mail and Guardian's Amabungane unpacking Transnet. Daily Maverick Scorpio unpacking Eskom. And so it goes on. We only know this stuff because of journalists. So an attack on a journalist doing her job is an attack on journalism, is an attack on our democracy.
And this is now where I might play not devil's advocate, but like poking the bear. But do you think they're getting upset because they've finally been caught out for what they've been getting away from?
Well, I don't know if it's upset. I think that the Stalingrad defense is, okay, you lose this one, you just go on to the next one. In fact, even if this gets thrown out, there's the potential that they'll try and appeal it, because that's the Stalingrad defense.
Is that how it's working? Just like, okay, how much time can we waste or push with this? Okay, let's try this tactic. What is the end game here? The hope that we can just keep doing this in perpetuity, and then eventually just no one will be interested in it?
Yeah, the end game is stay out of jail for as long as it takes. You're looking at someone in their 80s, so let's say 20 years maximum. So if you can keep the course running for that long, then you stay out of jail for life.
Well, look, I went to school with Stephen Butler.
Oh, yeah?
Good luck, son. Good luck today, my friend. We'd love to hear from you, South Africa. What news stories are affecting your life? How have you felt and put into perspective the news, both locally and abroad? Pretty interesting things happening. 063-408-8863. We'd love to hear from you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, it is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3. We're saying welcome back because this is a jam-packed show this morning, but we still have to take some time out to analyze the news headlines. And we have news editor Roy Simpson joining us in studio to do his usual bit. We love his insights, and of course, we're also now shifting it to a bit of international affairs that has a touch of home.
But let's keep the South African connection with one of our favorites, Neer Miller, hacked to weigh in this morning. Let's get some proper wisdom. What does Ms. Moodley have to say today?
Good morning, Feel Good Expresso team. Mrs. Nirmala Devi Mudley of Amkomas. Love the interaction in the mornings. Why would Malema want to question the deployment of the SAPs, their presence during the shutdown? It was in need. It was really the government's call to protect its citizens of the country. So I cannot understand why. Why is he questioning it? Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Oh, another person who can't understand why Julius Malema has done what he's done. I was trying. Can we close that thread very quickly here? Yeah. How have you put the EFF...
National shutdown.
National... whatever that was, into perspective?
I think where we kind of left our discussion on Monday, where we were saying, look, the objective's already been achieved. So there was no pressure on the EFF as an organization to actually mobilize on the ground. That wasn't necessary because they'd already shown that the puppet master can make the entire nation dance, that they can call the troops
Schools
out
were closed, troops were out, sorted, job done.
So yeah, I think that's where it was at. Although on another level, actually a bit of a fail. You would have expected more. So I think it now becomes a battle of spin. Can they spin it as the success, or can the ANC spin it as a failure? And yeah, that's where we're at.
So the politicking will continue.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at it, we had very little load shedding on Monday.
That was an upside, wasn't
I'm just waiting for the system to now crash.
Very little load shedding.
Yeah, we know nothing comes without a price. So let's cast that international gaze now. Of course, President Xi Jinping and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin spent 3 romantic days together. Is it official? Are they engaged? What has come out of this? Because we're seeing various levels now of this playing out. Obviously, there's a financial impact of what's been said, but what is actually happening right now with regards to Russia and China, and of course the possibility of us having to arrest a certain Russian president when he comes to South Africa?
Absolutely, lots of complexity here. This is a bromance without end, and that's the commitment. This is a limitless commitment, a limitless partnership between the two countries.
So they're engaged, they are engaged.
They're more than engaged. They're on a particular path, and that path seems to be in fact, it's stated in their address afterwards, it's to rejig the world order, to create a new world order that is bipolar.
New empire.
Yeah, that does, well, more importantly, that isn't American hegemony. But in that process, some very difficult things come up for us as a country, as you point out, because, of course, there's the International Criminal Court warrant out for Vladimir Putin, and we're signatories to the Rome Statute. That means we need to arrest him if he arrives on our shores, and he's meant to arrive on our shores in August for a BRICS summit. So yeah, that's going to be tricky for us.
How does this play out? What do you think in your heart of hearts? How will South Africa handle this potentially? Because it leaves us in no man's land with very few friends if we just let this slide.
Well, it puts us in a particular camp. I don't know about very few friends. But yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court of Appeal absolutely ratified with the Bashar al-Assad thing, where we didn't arrest him. They said we have to arrest it. In fact, it's the Director General that needs to ensure the arrest happens. We can't. We simply cannot. So we're going to break the Rome Statute. Can't see another outcome.
It's going to
and there aren't direct and specific consequences for that, other than reputational damage. But then what's the point of being part of this thing?
Anyway, yeah.
Interesting. I know we have to finish off, but you mentioned a woolly mammoth.
Please, Lord, say this is true.
Mammoth.
Please.
This is true. Colossal Bioscience, Colossal Mammoth, they are the organization, and they want to bring the mammoth back. But it's not a true de-extinction as they're claiming it is.
We're not looking to repopulate.
Well, no, they are. No, they want to bring the woolly mammoth back, but it'll be almost like a replica animal. So they're going to... There's a 99.96 correlation between woolly mammoths and Asian elephants. So they want to add that 0.04% of mammoth DNA into the elephant DNA, and they'll recreate the woolly mammoth. There is a Japanese university, Kendai University, that's trying to do it really slowly, trying to recreate literally the entire gene sequence.
Sure.
They're taking the short option because they're a business, not an academic institution. So one of the spins that they're going to do in terms of marketing, because they've raised 2.7 billion rand, they want to bring back the dodo. So that you can no longer say as dead as a dodo, and they'll have done it. The upside, though, is they're developing incredible software to do this, and that could have implications for things like cancer and stuff.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, this is massive. I think we can make light of it, but it really does balance out the karma of the world right now, as you do, Roy. Thank you so much for taking this so seriously, because I don't think we can take it seriously all the time, otherwise we'd implode. I know there is a lot going on in the world right now. Keep your perspective and share it with us. We'd love to hear from you. 0634088863. What should we be talking about on Monday?